everybody. I'm Evie Roberts, and this is my podcast, Talking in the Dark. Welcome. The aim of this podcast is to raise awareness about blindness, visual impairment, and disability in general, in a happy and light-hearted way. For those of you that don't know, I am blind. I was born with a condition called bilateral anophthalmia. Try spelling that one. It basically means that when I was born, my eyes didn't develop properly, so I wear prosthetics instead. The goal of this podcast is to remove some of the stigma and stereotypes around disabilities, whilst also having fun at the same time. Each week, I will be interviewing people from all walks of life, including some with hidden or physical disabilities like mine, and getting to know a little bit more about them and the lives they lead. This week, I am very excited to tell you that I will be talking to Krish from the MSPCA. My name is Evie Roberts, and this is my podcast, Talking in the Dark. Welcome. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem, it's lovely to have you. How's your day been?
It's been very good. It's very warm out, so
It is, yeah.
lots of nice ice cold drinks.
Oh yeah, that is really good. How was your TT?
It was really good. We had a pop-up in Bushies, so we got to fundraise some items in there, and it was overall quite busy, which was great for the animals as well. And it's been really good. How was your TT?
Yeah, it was really good. I went on holiday actually.
Oh, where did you go?
I went to Mallorca.
Oh, fantastic. Even hotter.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, it was 26, which was the same as the island yesterday, I think.
Gosh.
So, it wasn't much different.
No. At least it prepared you for this week.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you also have another special guest with you.
I do.
So would you like to introduce the audience to Michelle?
Yeah, so I have Michelle, who is a tortoise, and she's 4 years old. And she came in for rehoming, and I was lucky enough to adopt her, and I've had her for the past nearly 2 years.
Oh, that's amazing. She's very cute. Okay, so my first question for you. How many people work at the MSPCA?
So we have, top of my head, 10 members of staff, and that's between the kennels, the cattery, small animals unit, the main reception, and sometimes we have our lovely weekend girls as well.
Oh wow, so I imagine you're all quite busy then.
Yeah, very, very busy.
Yeah. How long have you worked for the MSPCA?
So I've been there 6 years. I joined in the hopes to work in the kennels, which I did at the time. I worked in the kennel section for 5 years, and I graduated in canine training behaviour, so I got to work with all the difficult dogs and hopefully make them a bit better for rehoming. But I've enjoyed my time there lots, and it's been such an amazing opportunity to meet so many different animals, really.
Oh, that's amazing. So, following up on the canine trainer topic then, who would you say is the most difficult dog you've had to train?
Gosh, beagles can be quite stubborn, but there's not been a particular breed that's been more difficult. Some just have quite a bad upbringing, or they've not had the right training at a young age, and once they've got big and boisterous, it's a little bit much more difficult to handle for other people, really. So it's mine and the fantastic team's job to try work with them and the new adopters to make sure that the dog gets the best life and the owners get the best out of the dog.
That's brilliant. What made you want to work at the MSPCA?
So I've always had a love for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to work with the guide dogs, and unfortunately the guide dogs aren't over here, and I wasn't quite ready to move to the UK to train, and so the next step was for me to help at the rescue centre. I didn't actually intend on staying there for a huge amount of time, but there is no place I would rather be, and I've been there since.
Oh, that's amazing. On average, how many animals do you have in at one time?
Oh, at one time is tricky. During this time of year, it's kitten season, so we get lots of kittens in, some with their mums and some come in as orphans as well. And so it's the team's job to care for them. We have lots of gull chicks in as well at the minute. They're very noisy and they're very messy. And last year we had just under 70 seagull chicks that we released.
Oh, wow.
So on average yearly, it's about 1,600 animals that we care for. and that fluctuates in between different years as well, with such a range of different animals.
Gosh, that's so many.
Loads.
What's the longest time you've had an animal in your care?
So there's been a dog in our kennels for 7 years until he was adopted. Unfortunately, he just didn't find the right match, and eventually after that time period, he did find the right match, and he went into an absolutely loving home, which was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so glad he found his match.
Oh, definitely, yes.
What's the most unusual animal you've had?
Now, we've had, last year, it might not be the most unusual, but one that I wasn't comfortable with, we had 13 tarantulas brought in for rehoming.
Oh, gosh.
And the person dropping them off said that one of them was poisonous, but she wasn't sure which one. So that was a task in itself. But we've also had snakes, and we've had a wallaby in as well, and a seal, the odd seal that have come into care before they get released again.
Wow.
So definitely it's a lot more than cats and dogs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Animals that you probably don't go up close and personal with, so it's really good experience to just see how they're cared for and watch them be released as well successfully.
Yeah, the tarantulas would terrify me though.
I did not go anywhere near that building until they left.
Yeah, I do not blame you. I can do most animals, cannot do like any form of spider though.
Oh no, I'm very petrified of spiders.
Yeah, I don't know why, I just can't. Who's the most inspirational animal you've had in your care?
There has been 2, both dogs. We had a lovely dog called Devlin in, and I still keep in touch with his owners, and he was a Staffy Cross Husky, I think.
Oh wow.
And he didn't get on with the dogs, but he absolutely loved people, and he was in for just under a year, I think he was, just trying to find the right people for him. Eventually he did find the right people, and they're runners and they're walkers, so Devlin's always out all the time, and he comes up for holidays as well, and he even stops in our tea rooms, so I always go in and spoil him with lots of treats.
Oh.
And the other one would be Blue. So Blue was a Shar-Pei Cross Labrador, and he at the time was living with his owner in a car. Now unfortunately the lady wasn't able to care for him, and he went into police custody. And because the police couldn't get near him because he was quite scared and came across aggressive, the car was towed away within a minute, and one of our team members had to go and retrieve him. So when he brought him to the kennels, he was very scared, very barky, and in the end I ended up sleeping on the same bed with him in his kennel and getting lots of kisses. So it just shows that hard work and patience definitely gets around to the dogs, and that they're not all bad at all. So he's out living his best life on walks, and he's got dog friends now as well, so that was a really great story for us to have.
God, that's amazing, and I'm so glad you still keep in touch with Devlin as well.
Oh, definitely.
I suppose you have to keep in touch with the animals that sort of, mean the most to you.
Oh yeah, we definitely try keep on the owner's Facebook page and social media, so I get to see what they're doing and if they're going on holiday, so it's great fun.
That's amazing. Have you ever had a blind or visually impaired animal in your care?
We've had the odd older dogs that have come in, and they might have slightly different vision, or they might have come in with one eye, or might need an actual surgery for that eye. So we have had dogs that have come in and they've been partially blind as well, yeah.
Oh wow. So is there any sort of difference in taking care of them compared to like a normal dog?
Just making sure that their areas are completely surrounded by safe things, so soft things, so in case they go off their step or their water bowl's easily to get to and they don't hit themselves into the gateway or anything like that. But other than that, lots of squeaky toys, so they still got lots of fun, lots of scent games as well, so they get to use their nose a lot, and it heightens all their other senses as well, so quite a lot of dogs don't actually realise it, they just plough into the field and run around a load of circles.
Fair enough. What are the easiest and hardest animals to rehome?
I'd say the hardest is sometimes different dogs. Just depending on their background, if they're not great with people and they don't get on with other dogs, it can take longer for people to adopt them. And most people go up to adopt a dog because they want a friendly dog, they want a companion, so sometimes it's not quite straightforward. And black cats seem to be one of those things that people are quite mysterious around, so sometimes black cats are in a little bit longer than normal, like white and grey cats and tabby cats.
Oh wow. So what would you say are the easiest animals to rehome then?
Puppies. Puppies and kittens. We don't get many puppies in. I think the 6 years I've been there, we've had 3 puppies in, and each time they've always come about a few days before Christmas. and they're never in our kennels for long at all, as you can imagine. So we always make sure we get them out quite quickly into good homes. But yeah, puppies and kittens are always first to go.
Well, it's funny you say about kittens actually, because the cat that I have right now I actually adopted from the MSPCA.
Oh, fantastic.
So I remember we were looking for a kitten and we ended up getting 2 older cats. I think they were called Gin and Tonic at the time.
Yep.
But we changed their names to Elsie and Chester.
Oh, brilliant names.
So we still have Elsie. Chester unfortunately isn't with us anymore, but he was a very vocal cat. But yeah, no, I can definitely see why kittens are very easy to rehome.
Definitely. But it's fantastic that you adopted from the Manx SPCA as well.
No, they are brilliant, and Elsie's like my little best friend. So honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better cat.
Oh, fantastic.
So my next question was going to be, have you ever adopted one of the animals you've cared for?
Yeah, so Michelle didn't come directly through the Manx SPCA. She was due to go in if I wasn't able to take her. But I did adopt, I currently have 5 dogs. It's a madhouse.
Oh, wow.
But before that, I had my first boy, Wilson, who's a red golden Labrador. And I adopted George from the Manx SPCA a couple of years ago, and he is a lovely golden Labrador. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago this year, but he came in and he was a working dog. He came in with his half-brother Lenny, so George and Lenny out of the book. I don't know if you guys have read that yet, but the book's fantastic. And George came in and he had little sores on him. He was quite skinny, and Lenny had dwarf legs. So he was like a miniature Labrador.
Aww.
So I took George home, and my boy Wilson didn't like him at first, but they ended up sleeping together in the same bed. So I had George for 3 years until he passed away, and he was fantastic. But I can definitely say you can't work at the Manx SPCA and walk out without adopting an animal.
I can definitely see why that is.
I think every member of staff that has worked there so far has ended up adopting an animal, even if their intentions were to not go home with a pet. But it definitely happens. You fall in love with them so easily, and sometimes you wish you could take them all home. But no, it's fantastic being able to rehome them and seeing what homes they go into as well.
Yeah, that is brilliant. And I suppose you all get attached to different animals as well.
Oh, we have our, we're not allowed favourites, but we have our favourites.
I can see why. How do you come up with the names you give your animals?
So, like your cat's Gin and Tonic, originally, we have, the cattery team are fantastic. We've come up with different themes. I think one of our themes was The Big Bang Theory. It goes on different TV programmes, movies. We also had a Pride theme as well. And so they come up with, some are fantastic, inspiring names, and others, like Ceiling Fan and iPad Pro, are quite strange. But we always find the strangest names get the most attention on social media, which really boosts them getting a home.
Oh, well, I think the names are a big part in, getting people to look at the animals. So I guess you have to get quite creative as well.
We try not to have lots of snowballs in at the same time.
Yeah, so I know you mentioned earlier about how it is currently kitten season.
Yeah.
So my last question for you, do you have certain busy periods throughout the year for certain animals?
Yes, so for obviously cats is kitten season, that's normally spring and summertime. Birds, for the gulls especially, is roughly about now this time of year. They've come in a little bit early. Seals, we've had one unfortunately either a little bit late or a little bit early, being a little bit stranded on the beach. So it's their time there as well. And for dogs wise, for rehoming, that can be a hit and miss. Some people are fantastic and want to adopt, and that's normally around summertime, or it's winter and they want to be able to get out the house more and have an excuse of having a dog. And other times it's summer is a busy period and family time where the dog gets rehomed, or the weather goes bad and they're not able to exercise the dog as much as they'd like. So dogs are kind of all year round, but lately it's we've got quite a few young dogs coming into us, and they're being rehomed really quickly, and they've got fantastic temperaments as well. But dogs is an all year round one. And I think that was it really. The rabbits and guinea pigs seem to just come in little drips and drabs. But yeah, kitten season's definitely a big one, and it's most popular because they are actually really, really cute. And I've been able, after 6 years, I've been able to name one kitten. He went straight away, and his name got changed, of course. But I called him Crumpet because he looked like a golden crumpet.
That is a brilliant name, I have to say.
He was so cute.
Okay, so that is all my questions. Thank you so much for answering them.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And thank you to my audience for listening, and I will see you all next time.